大家好，我是欧比王，上课喽。
Before we begin learning Chinese, we must first look back at the story of its evolution. How did today's traditional and simplified Chinese come to be? And if one learns the traditional Chinese, will they also be able to comprehend simplified Chinese? The story of Chinese writing stretches back thousands of years. It began with oracle bone inscriptions, carved around the 14th to the 11th centuries before the Common Era. Later, it evolved into bronze inscriptions, cast into ritual vessels about 3,000 years ago. As time moved forward, during the Warring States, and through the Qin and Han dynasties, from roughly the 8th century before the Common Era, up to the 4th century of the Common Era, people wrote mainly on bamboo and wooden slips. In the Han dynasty, clerical script became the style of choice. And by the late Eastern Han, it slowly transformed into what we now call regular script. The Qin dynasty also left its mark, standardizing seal script, around 221 before the Common Era. Then came a breakthrough, the invention of paper, in the year 105. With this new material, regular script reached full maturity by the late 2nd to early 3rd century. And although styles shifted with the times, the written tradition remained unbroken. This, we now know, is traditional Chinese. But the story did not end there. Simplified Chinese is a much more recent chapter. In 1956, before the Cultural Revolution, the Chinese government began promoting a system of simplified characters. And today, traditional Chinese continues to thrive in Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, and in overseas Chinese communities around the world. Whether in traditional or simplified Chinese, knowing about 3,000 characters is enough to cover 99% of everyday communication. With around 5,000 characters, one can already handle most professional texts. Among the most frequently used characters, about 50 to 70% are written exactly the same, in both traditional and simplified Chinese. Since simplified Chinese was derived from traditional forms, readers who are used to traditional characters generally have no difficulty understanding simplified text. Traditional Chinese users have 100% mutual understanding with simplified Chinese speakers in spoken language. When reading simplified Chinese for the first time, they achieve about 99.5% comprehension. For all Chinese literature and classical texts written before 1956, the understanding is seamless and continuous, with no barriers. To build a clearer and more logical path of learning, we recommend starting with traditional Chinese. Chinese characters are unique. Sometimes they combine sound and meaning, and sometimes they are pictographic or ideographic. Once you learn a basic character form, you can treat it like a building block and use it to form many more words. This channel shares how people in Taiwan learn Chinese characters and the Bopomofo notation system. Bopomofo was developed in the late 18th century in China, when many scholars studied the sounds of Chinese and combined them with commonly used glyphs to create this phonetic script. Learning Bopomofo not only helps with pronunciation, but also supports memory and writing of Chinese characters later on. Today in Taiwan, every kindergarten begins with Bopomofo, followed by the study of traditional Chinese characters. As time moves forward and technology advances, many cultures and traditions gradually fade. Preserving languages has therefore become an important challenge for people everywhere. Our hope is that more people can learn to appreciate the beauty of Chinese characters through these lessons and videos. And we also hope, as technology advances, Chinese will not one day become like the Rosetta Stone of Egypt. Imagine the year 2088, when someone uncovers an ancient Chinese inscription, yet no one on earth can read it anymore.
星际挂面，即使我有 在每个